There used to be an expression that said, you better beat your children before the cops beat them. They meant you better discipline your children or else they're going to end up being hurt by the police when they're acting up. How can you do that these days?
Where them kicks at? Where them hands? Where them holes? Where them throws? You know what I'm saying? Cecil.
You can do it with martial arts training. This is why I train in martial arts.
And the consequence of you failing to do such is waiting and willing to engage and participate whenever you're ready.
That's right. I know a sister, me and Blue know a sister who put her hands on her daughter. Her daughter was getting out of control, right? In her teenager years. When she told us what they did to her,
Oh yeah.
when she told us the way that the state handled her, as a result of her disciplining her own seed,
Who was getting bumped?
who was turning the F up, right? The way some of these young girls do these days.
Now, you notice he said young girls, the way some of these young girls do these days. A lot of times people will tell you that you got to worry about your sons acting up because from what I was always been told, son one day will try daddy and then daddy and son will get into some kind of tussling match. But these days you have girls that act up too. And what if it's just mom? What if it's just mom that's got to raise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 children and a child acts out physically and mom's not in her prime anymore? How is mom going to be able to handle something like that without going overboard or without getting hurt herself?
You would cry. She has to check in with the precinct every morning. She has the social workers visit, and I'm not talking about she didn't. From what she told me, it wasn't like she put her child in the hospital. It wasn't like she made the child even bleed. All she did was put a belt to her, and the child decided to call the authorities. The authorities is not just treated her, is still treating her,
Washing her. Yeah.
washing her. She has to call the precinct every morning or every day and check in. You got the state in between you and your child, to whereas you being treated like you were supervised parole or something like this. It didn't make no sense. But that's what's going on. And like Blue said, it's sabotaging the household because they're, like he said, they got some discipline for them children. You're seeing it online. You're seeing it with these police killing these teenagers.
So shout out to Black Magic 363, with whom I'm not affiliated. I've never met him. But like I said, I listen to all kinds of stuff, and I eventually will find something that I can use for the martial arts. And this is something right here that definitely we need to think about as martial artists, especially those of us who are martial artist parents, but really anybody, because you know what? You may not be a parent now, but you might be a parent one day. See, it's why when I came up with my own thing, I took from my Taekwondo, I took from my Judo, I put them both together. Because if you just want to go on the super pure style focus, if you just want to be a grappler, because a lot of people want to tell you that's why you need grappling, close quarters. But if you're just 100% focused on grappling, what are you doing with people who want to punch at you, kick you, bite at you? You don't start doing anything that's anti-striking until you get up into the black belt levels. What are you going to do if you're a striker? A lot of people want to try to make it seem like striking doesn't work. Well, I think they've gotten over that now. I know about 20 years ago when the UFC was a lot bigger, they were trying to act like punching someone was totally ineffective or kicking. We know better than that now. I think especially with what Holly Holmes did when she came in the ring. But this is the thing about, and I tell this to a lot of my students. If you want to be 100% percussive, if you don't know what percussive means, look it up. You can't punch or kick or knee and elbow all the time for every situation when there's some violence in it. There may be some times when you need to restrain people, when you need to deflect. At least if you're a striking major, you could block, 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 parry, parry, dodge, dodge, dodge. Whenever you have to be a peacemaker instead of a competitor. But what if there's not enough room for you to do that, or you need to stop something quick? That's when it would be good to know how to deal with strikes so you can close to the strike range, get into the grappling range, and then you could gently, not epone throw people, you could gently take somebody to the ground if you have to and hold them, or you can off balance them and hold them while they're standing up or something. And then when you start blending in principles from both, and like with me, I'm not saying I got a black belt in Aikido because I definitely don't. I've just dabbled in Aikido here and there over the years. And the things like the unbending arm and that whole spiral concept that they have with the circles and the angles and stuff like that, I have picked up some of that stuff and I've used it from time to time. And that stuff is great for when you need to be a peacemaker. So, especially you parents, and see, I hope I don't go on too long in this video, because the thing that gets me is a lot of people, you want to put your kids into martial arts, and that's fine. But you don't think that you probably need to be in arts yourself, because you're not going to be young forever. And what are you going to do if your kids lose their temper or something, and then you got to step in? What are you going to do? What are you going to do without hurting them? Huh? What are you going to do without hurting your kids? Well, if my child ever do this, I'll knock them in next week. I'll knock them in the next Thursday. That worked. I'm 48. Well, I will be 48 soon. That worked back in the 70s and 80s when you could beat children with Hot Wheel tracks and mama could throw shoes and you might be able to even beat them with a spatula, or belts or extension cords and all that stuff. Fine and dandy. A child get a busted lip, go to school. What happened? I'll talk back to mama. You shouldn't have been talking back to mama. That doesn't fly anymore, people. In 2018, that doesn't fly. What are you going to do? Your child's acting up. All you know how to do is throw a right cross. What are you going to do? Your child's acting up. They're swinging and kicking at you. You know how to pin, but you don't know how to get around those punches without eating a few yourself. What are you going to do? You going to go MMA? You going to go MMA? Where if you happen upon the wrong teacher, you might end up starting to ground and pound your own child. You don't know when to stop. I'll tell you what you could do. If you're near me, you could take Cecil Ryu Taekwondo and look on the website. Just Google Cecil Ryu Taekwondo and stuff will come up for classes. But if you don't know, if you can't do that, or you think, oh, he's just trying to get people to come to his class, right? If you think I'm doing that game, then you can do this. I'll give you the secret. Take a karate, a taekwondo, like some kind of punch kick style. You take that. Then you take a judo or jujitsu, some type of wrestling style. I would really prefer you take judo, but just remember, when there's people you love, you don't throw them full force. At least take those two. That will guarantee you that you feel comfortable standing up and that you feel comfortable laying down. I would recommend taking both of those separately over taking mixed martial arts. Because people might say, why don't you just take mixed martial arts? Because mixed martial arts tends to be more focused on competition. And what I'm talking about, and not that I'm saying MMA is bad, don't go there. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm talking about focus for you as a civilian outside of a ring. I think the odds are, if you do like I said, you take a taekwondo or karate, and you take a judo or jujitsu, the odds are, if you take those two things from the same or different teachers, you're going to get a wider, broader range of focus that, especially if they're talking about traditional morals and things like that, that you will know enough so that you could parry, 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 and just hold your child instead of beating them with belts and other objects or starting to go into a ground and pound. Basically, so that you can resolve the conflict and nobody gets hurt, or versus you end up getting hurt or you end up hurting a child, and then you end up going to jail and being ankle monitored because you hurt the child too much, or the child ends up going to jail and being ankle monitored because they hurt you. Stop thinking you too cute for martial arts lessons. You need it. And if more of us had it, we'd have less police officers in our family business. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with people who like to talk about martial arts. Again, shout out to Black Magic 363. I don't know them, but this video had a good point, so I fair used it. And peace.